Got me dealing with the stress, got me dealing with the pain. Trying to find a way.
What's going on? Welcome back to the TD where we talk about all things sports, anime advice, movies, and of course my series Titan King. I am your host Tony D, and this week we're going to be diving into NFL Week 6, and we're going to be handing out a brand new award, an award that I think that has been long time coming. Because the reality is that I am not the ESPN. If you guys want to have numbers, you want to have a breakdown of the games, you go ahead and watch those type of channels. But you know what? I want to bring a little bit more spice, a little bit more life to this channel. So you know what? Let's try to bring something a little bit different. So I am introducing a brand new nomination, a brand new award that must be announced. The NFL's MCP'S. Now, you might be wondering, what are the MCP'S? Well, I will tell you what the MCP'S are. The MCP'S are the players that are both the most cold on the field and also the most cooked on the field. The reality is that there's too much of both, and there's just way too much attention going on for teams and all these individual glazers of these regular, reoccurring threats that keep on happening every single season. But you know what? We need to start bringing out a little bit more highlights and a little bit more focus on a week-to-week basis. So we're going to be breaking down Week 6, and I'm going to be going into what exactly are these different awards, because it's not going to be just who's the most cooked and who is the most cold. No. We're going to be a little bit more meticulous. We're going to get a little bit more dived in. We're going to have strokes. We're going to have some repetitions, okay? We're going to have a couple of different sections, a couple of different competitions inside of our Olympics that is the cold and cooked awards. So for the cold awards, they go as follows. The coldest marksman will go to the best quarterback. Coldest hands will go to the best receiver or the best catch. Coldest rock is going to go to the best run or the best running back. Coldest wall, the best offensive or defensive line. Coldest knockout, the best defensive player. Sniffles is somebody that I think is starting to gain that cold factor. I'm not quite sold like everybody else is, but I do recognize that they are definitely starting to lower the temperature in the room. They starting to bring down the temperature. They starting to get a little bit of some frosties, a little bit of some of that morning dew. So you know that they got a little bit of some frosties. So we're going to call that the sniffles. Someone who is consistent on a regular basis and is constantly cold, but this is somebody that is good week in, week out. It's just that we're highlighting them this week. But that will be the Frozone Award. Issa Blizzard goes to the guy that when they hopped on the field this week, they just caused havoc or they was just having a field day. And then finally, we will get to the MCP, the most cold player. Now, as for the cooked, this is going to be a lot simpler. Mr. Step Your Game Up is going to go to whoever it is that we expect more from, but for whatever reason is not performing well. Trash Bag is going to go to who I think is the league's worst team that week. Screen Door on a submarine is going to go to the offensive or defensive line that is as useful as a screen door on a submarine. Medium Rare is somebody that we don't expect to be cooked on a regular basis, but they got cooked and we expect them to recover, but we saw that. Barbecue Chicken is somebody that we're not saying that they're doomed and that there's no hope for them in terms of their career, but they're getting cooked on a regular basis. Flat top grill shavings means that you are cooked on a regular basis. There's no hope for you. And quite frankly, you are just this far below from being the most cooked. And the MCP on the negative half, the most cooked player, will go to the guy who, quite frankly, his job is on the line. But now that we have the rules, now that we know how everything goes, let's dive into the MCPs. Starting off with the coldest marksman, I just want to give a solid honorable mention to Jackson Dart, because the fact is, Jackson Dart was not one of these people that I actually believed was going to be a immediate great quarterback when it comes to the league. I thought that he was going to show some promise, he was going to have some struggles, but ultimately it was just going to be a regular New York Giants bust type of season. But since Jackson Dart has started, and with those little bit of flashes we got to see in the preseason, Jackson Dart has been sensational. I know y'all saw Dayball freaking out when he saw Russell throw that incompletion and Jackson was still in that tent. He's like, boy, you better get his ass up out of there. We about to lose this game. You better get his ass up out that tent. Runner-up for the coldest marksman has to go to Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has been somebody that, quite frankly, I don't think anybody really expected to be this good. We all thought that if it's between Anthony Richardson and it's between Daniel Jones, then it's a toss-up between who could actually get the job. But I had my money on Anthony Richardson. I genuinely believe that if he can be able to clean up this inconsistency when it comes to his accuracy, that he would have a solid chance of being able to get his job back. But Daniel Jones has been absolutely sensational. He's been absolutely fantastic, and I would be doing a disservice to you guys to not mention Daniel Jones this week. But the person that I have penned in for who is the coldest marksman when it comes to NFL Week 6 is Baker Mayfield. Baker has been playing lights out since the season has started. Baker, I have said this several times before, but I will say it again because it needs to be said. If it's 2 minutes on the clock and the game is winnable and the ball is in Baker's hands, hand him the W because Baker gonna get it done. The only question really remains, how far can you take him in the playoffs? Are the Buccaneers going to the Super Bowl? That remains to be seen. Moving on to the coldest hands, I have to go ahead and start off with the runner-up, Rome Odunze. That touchdown catch that he had in the end zone that was robbed by the goofy-ass referees, I am never going to get over. Because that was one of those catches that I was looking for when it comes to Rome. Rome is somebody that I feel like could be in that top 10 receiver, top 7 receiver conversation, I think. But he obviously needs to get more solid quarterback play, and I think that we just need to see more catches like that. Catches that are contested, that show he's not just good in open space. He is a number 1 receiver, which is what we think that Rome Odunze is over here in Chicago. But because the call was reversed and because it wasn't actually accounted for, I have to take it back, and we'll just leave it as an honorable mention. I'm not that biased. Runner-up goes off to the NFC Offensive Player of the Week, and that is Jackson Smith-Njigba. Njigma's been a player that's quite frankly been a little bit off of my radar. I wasn't necessarily checking for him. I don't necessarily check for the Seahawks unless more so who the Seahawks is playing against. They just happen to end up being against. The Seahawks are a very, very good team. A very, very good team. I don't want them to be lost. It's just that that's just not a team that I'm specifically rooting for, being that I'm in the, or my team is in the NFC, so I don't want to see none of y'all win. But he has been very, very solid, and this past week he did have the highest amount of receptions. The highest amount of receptions and yards, so we got to be able to give him his flowers. Man, if you want to know who I think got the coldest hands this week when it comes to the NFL, that ain't none other than my man's Drake London, sipping tea, stepping through your hood out there in Atlanta. Man, it looked sensational. Every single pass that Mr. PENIX was throwing his way was getting caught, point blank period. And to be more specific, it's not the fact that he catches these footballs, but it's the fact that he makes it look easy. He makes it look like art, the way that he receives it. So, I gotta say, Drake London has been looking absolutely sensational. I want to keep on seeing more of that. I'm very much so jealous we don't have him on the Bears, but I can't be too jealous because we have an excellent skill group when it comes to our receiver core. So, you know what? I can't have everything, but Atlanta, you better be lucky and you better be happy that you got Drake London. Moving on to the coldest rocket, I have got to give an honorable mention to Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor has been absolutely exceptional when it comes to this Colts offense. I mean, he's always been a very, very good running back. Last year, I know because of the injury, he wasn't able to dominate as well or be able to be put in that conversation the same way that Derrick Henry or Saquon was. But if you guys remember early last year, he was putting up numbers and he was in the conversation until he got injured. But I'm very happy to see that he's starting to be able to climb back up and get that recognition that he deserves. But the runner-up, I think, that it actually deserves, and quite frankly, I'm not mad at you if you want to say that he's the one who should have won, but I'm from Chicago, I have a bias, and I also have a case for my argument, so let me go ahead and do my thing. But the runner-up when it comes to the coldest rocket has to be Bijan Robinson. He has been absolutely phenomenal when it comes to his play. He's breaking tackles, he's elusive, he's fast, he can catch, he can run. He is truly a star player and a leader when it comes to Atlanta and their offense. I am just enamored with the way that he plays. It's always exciting because whereas Drake London has all of these beautiful catches that look like art, that he almost looks like he's posing for some sort of clay statue, Bijan's just playing fun football. Give me the ball and let me do what it is I need to do. So you got to give Bijan credit, especially the way that he was able to run the ball down the throats of those Bills. But when it comes to who gets the coldest rocket this week, I'm sorry, but I'm giving it to DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift was averaging 7.7 a carry, and the dude has been the butt of the NFL's jokes when it comes to the running back situation. And I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna keep it all the way stacked. Let's get real, Chicago. I'm gonna keep it all the way stacked. I was talking shit. I was hating on DeAndre Swift. I'm like, if you don't get this little gremlin off this running back's depth room, he can't run. You breathe on DeAndre Swift, and he stops moving. My issue with DeAndre is the fact that he is great in open space. If no one's touching him and he can run and be elusive, cool. DeAndre is nice. But if his whole job is he has to break through contact in order to do that, DeAndre ain't going nowhere. But you notice they gave him that space. And when he had that space, he went off. And the fact that he was able to do that, the offensive line was able to come together to get that run defense going. You saw a nice congealment, and nobody pegged the Bears offense to be able to run the ball down Washington's throat. Nobody had that in the fortune for Monday night. So I'm giving the coldest rocket to DeAndre Swift. Congratulations. I don't know how many of these you're going to get, so I have to give him his flowers when they're due. Bear down. Following that drift of the coldest rocket, we have to make an honorable mention for the coldest wall for the Chicago Bears O-line. Listen, I have had many concerns when it comes to the Bears O-line. I know that we've had a lot of issues when it comes to the left tackle situation. We've had a lot of issues when it comes to just solidifying the O-line. We've gotten a lot of pieces to make it better, and it has been overall better than it has been last year, but it was just no type of run block even remotely hinted at in sight. So being able to say that they were able to get those improvements made, I just needed to give an honorable mention to the Bears offense because I don't want that to be lost in the fact that DeAndre was able to pop off. So kudos to you guys, Chicago. Runner-up, I got to give it to the Eagles O-line because as much as the New York Giants were able to get to Jalen Hurts, for the most part, they were doing their job. It's just that the New York Giants defense is actually pretty good. They actually are pretty good. So they were able to get to Jalen. Now, they weren't just sacking him every single play. There were several plays where you saw that Jalen had a lot of time. He had a lot of space to be able to get these plays off. But that being the case, they're just misfiring. The offense was not firing on all cylinders, so they just weren't able to capitalize on their opportunities. But let's not forget, the Eagles are still a top 5 O-line when it comes to this league. But if we're talking about who has the coldest wall right now, I got to give it to the Colts. The Indiana Colts are week in, week out rated among the top 5, top 3 when it comes to pass blocking and run defense. They are, and the numbers show, and the wins show. That O-line is absolutely spectacular. They are making Daniel Jones look like he is the second coming of Peyton Manning over there in Indiana, and it has got everybody shocked. I'm more so curious to see if he's going to be able to repeat this next year, because if he does, my God, now we got to worry about Indiana again. And now, I'm not going to lie, I kind of hope that we get a rematch with Indiana versus Bears in the Super Bowl. If you think that the Bears versus the Colts rematch would be an excellent Super Bowl and you want to see us get revenge, especially against the team that handed our ass to us in 2007, type EVC in the chat. Coldest knockout goes out to Brian Branch. I know you guys knew that this was coming. Brian Branch was out here swinging on folks. And don't get me wrong, Patrick, you see, the thing about the Chiefs is the Chiefs love to antagonize people and then point fingers when people want to retaliate back. Now, let's keep it a stack. Brian Branch, that was dumb. That was dumb, what you did in terms of your team, because now you're not going to be able to play next week, and they need you. That being the case, I'd be lying if I didn't say that it was kind of funny. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that it was entertaining. NFL might not condone it, but shit, I was giggling. So, Brian Branch, keep your hands to yourself. Or don't. I mean, like, shit, you can get this award again. The Sniffles Award is going over to Bryce Young. I feel that Bryce Young is starting to slowly but surely claw his ways from the basement of being benched and trying to really find his own as a quarterback. I think that even though he did have an interception this past week against the Cowboys, we all, if you watch the tape, that was not his fault. It was bobbled off the hands of his receivers. I really cannot stand that the NFL always attributes the interception to the quarterback. I feel like if the receiver touches it, it needs to be now counted as a strip. That's what I think. I think that if you end up throwing the ball and the receiver touches it, how the hell was it intercepted? He didn't intercept the ball. No. He tipped and caught it. Yes, he intercepted the pass, but he didn't really intercept it. He more so received the misdirection, if that makes sense. So, Bryce Young playing much better. Obviously, we know he's got a long way to go. The Panthers have a long way to go, but they are starting to gel together. They're in not quite as good of a situation as Chicago, but in a similar situation as Chicago. They are getting the right pieces. They're starting to move in the right direction. It's just a question of what's going to be that big swing move that they need to make, whether that comes to their play or their players, in order for them to progress. The Frozone Award is going to, and reluctantly, Drake May. Listen, I'm not hating on Drake May. I think that Drake May is a very, very solid quarterback. I just didn't think that he was better than Caleb at the beginning of the series. At the beginning of the season, I should say. But standing right now, I have to be entirely 100% honest. He is further along than Caleb, but I still think that the jury is out as to who is truly the top quarterback of the 2024 class. Because last year we were saying it's Jaden. Now people are saying it's Drake. Who's to say that next year it's not Michael or Bo or Caleb? You know what I'm saying? So let's wait and see. But I have to give props where it's due. If I was doing this award last week, Drake May would have gotten the Sniffles Award. But now that he's been doing this week in, week out, he's been doing this so far throughout the season, I saw that he's now starting to, one, not turn the ball over, which is great. But two, he's looking more confident and more poised on the field. Got to give credit to where credit's due. Drake May is looking excellent out there. And the It's a Blizzard Award comes to my man's Rico Dotto. Come on, man. When you having back-to-back 200 type of weeks, you know that this is not something that is just a mistake. No, it's in you. It ain't on you, it's in you. And Rico pulled it off 2 weeks in a row. I'm talking about 200 motherfucking yards rammed down Dallas's throat. How you like them apple? In Green Bay. You mean to tell me you guys got Micah Parsons? Y'all tied with Green Bay 40-40. But the Panthers were able to get it done. You're not messing with Chicago. And all the Green Bay haters, I just want you to know, you're not going 2-0 against Chicago. At best, you getting 1-1. But I bet we beat y'all both times. I bet we beat Green Bay both times. And I bet you we beat the Vikings next time. The only person in the NFC who is messing with Chicago is Detroit. I'm sorry. Fuck the Packers. For this week, I have to say that the MCP is a Emeka Egbuka. This kid is phenomenal. I don't know what they're putting in his juice. I don't know what type of super Negro this dude is. But my ninja, he is him. And the crazy thing is he's a rookie. He's a rookie. He's only been doing this. This is his first year in the league. He can only go up from here. Now, obviously, yes, there's the possibility that he could fall off and he could end up being one of those guys that has a really, really amazing rookie year and then is just never able to reproduce from there. But I don't think that's his story. I think that Emeka is going to end up being a superstar in this league, and him and Baker, they're going to be a combo that's going to be talked about for years to come. Now moving on to the Cooked Awards. Starting off with the first Cooked Award, we are going to be starting with the Mr. Step Yo Game Up Award, who I think that has to go to Joe Flacco. The reason why is the Bengals literally traded to get you because Jake Browning just was not doing nothing with that offense, and they needed somebody they could trust, somebody that they felt was going to be, good. And Joe Flacco, you won a fucking Super Bowl, bro. Act like Joe Flacco. I don't give a fuck if you're 40. You got to figure it out. You see that Brady was able to play when he was 40. He won a Super Bowl. You see what it is that Aaron Rodgers is doing. This might be his last season, but he's playing like it. He's playing like it. He emptied the clip in the tank on y'all. So, Joe, I'm expecting you to be able to pull up a little bit more when it comes from that reservoir of your NFL ability. I know you got it in you. I just need you to pull it out a little bit more, which I'm sure he will because he only had, 5 days in order to be able to learn the offense and learn what was going on with the Bengals. So I think that maybe a little bit more, he'll have a little bit more competence when it comes to his ability to run the offense this week. So we'll just have to wait and see. Moving over to the screen door on a submarine, that has to go to the Jets O-line. I don't know what it is that they're doing with those guys. It just seems like every single play they're getting beat. I don't know why or what beef they have with Justin, because clearly all they want to do is get him sacked. I mean, you could at least do what the one dude did on the Packers when he was able to warn his quarterback. I mean, damn. But yeah, the Jets O-line is absolutely atrocious. Justin has no time to be able to get any sort of plays off. And even when the couple of times that he does, we'll get into that when we get to that. Moving on to the award for the medium rare. We are going to be awarding that to Josh Allen. Josh did not have a good game against the Falcons. He didn't. I expect Josh to play much better than he did, and I get it. Josh is with the exception of James Cook, Josh is the only offensive real threat on that team. And James Cook, even though he's a threat, he's somebody that you can contain because he's been contained the last 2 weeks. Clearly, which means that Josh is forced to throw a lot more than he wants to, which obviously increases his chances for interceptions. Which I think that Josh plays his best when defenses are questioning what it is he's able to do. But there's nobody's questioning what he can do because Josh is one-dimensional right now. And because of that, they're opening a lot of opportunities for him to get turnovers or turn the ball over. So Josh got to play better. Josh got to do better. But I'm only gonna call it medium rare because he was getting cooked this week. But we clearly don't expect this to be a reoccurring thing. We're not worried about the Bills. But I seen that, Josh. You got a little bit seared on the outside. Let's hop up off that grill and let's get back to this ice box so we can talk about you being cold. The barbecue chicken award goes to my man Tua Tagovailoa because my man is cooked every single week. Unless he's playing somebody who's equally or worse booty than he is, then he is going to lose the game. I don't know what happened to Tua. It's like these concussions have this entire NFL ability falling off of a cliff. I'm glad that he has a family to go back to that loves him because the team nor the fan base loves him right now. Now, is it absolutely over for Tua? No. I think that there's an opportunity for him to be able to turn things around, but he don't start stepping his game up, he's gonna be flat top grill shavings. Which, speaking of which, that award has to go to my man, Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is just not good. I don't know why it is that Baltimore decided to have Cooper Rush be the backup when it's so painfully obvious that they lean very, very heavily on Lamar Jackson and his ability to extend and get the plays off and be as surgical as he is for their offense to even function. It's clear because without Lamar, their offense is non-existent. 3 points a game, 10 points a game. That's not the Ravens I know. So Cooper Rush, and it's not entirely Cooper Rush's fault because, again, there's questions about how Baltimore is ran as an organization for your quarterback to be down and you guys aren't even close to in contention. At the very least, you should have got you a quarterback that at least be somewhat similar to Lamar. And it looks like that's what Tyler Huntley's going to end up doing. I wouldn't be surprised if he's starting. Hashtag start Tyler Huntley. The trash bag award goes to the New York Jets. My goodness. Special teams. Defense was okay because obviously they were defense was very good. Defense was good because the defense, even though they were trash bag levels in the beginning of the year, they started to shape up. They started to find that ground. They started to find their identity. They started to be like, you know what? We're not going to be some hoes. We're going to start locking some things down. You're not scoring on us. Take 3. You're not getting 6. So I'll give credit to the defense. But my goodness, the offense, the play calling, special teams, everything about the Jets organization right now is looking like a mess. It looks sad. It's depressing. And honestly, I don't know how much longer they're going to take it. They better turn this thing around real quick. And I'm not talking about playoffs. I'm talking about, can we look like we even belong in this league come the end of 2025 season? That would be a win for the Jets at this point. Which, by extension, because they've been a frequent feature on this cook list, the most cooked player of the week goes to none other than the one and only Justin Fields. Justin Fields. I like Justin. I've said it before. I like Justin. I think that he has a lot of athletic ability that should make him good. Now, I'm starting to wonder if maybe Justin might have a Tua problem. Where Tua, he's still willing to throw the ball. He's still willing to get the ball out, not necessarily on time, but still take a chance and get the ball out. Justin Fields, instead, is afraid to make a mistake and is calculating too long and he's never playing on a rhythm because he never just lets it go. He has a couple of moments where he'll have a nice pass and you'll think, okay, he can't do this. But when it matters, Justin just doesn't lock in. He doesn't lock in. I don't know if it's because he's struggling to read the defense. I don't know if he's overthinking what the defense might do. But if you got good receivers, if you're in practice, my dude, give your receivers a chance. Give him a chance. And he wouldn't even give him a chance. I get it. he doesn't have the best protection. I get it. He's had several concussions. I get it. He's had a hard time in Chicago. He wasn't, you know what I'm saying, a favorite when he was in Pittsburgh. But you know what? It's getting to a point where, you know, maybe we just need to come to the terms with the fact that Justin might not necessarily be starting quarterback material. I would love to see Justin use his athletic ability in the league. He'd be excellent as maybe a running back or something of that sort. Maybe he can be in a, you know what I'm saying, type of package situation where he can be a backup quarterback that can get a couple of snaps just running the ball to get a first down. He's got great leg power, but as a franchise quarterback, I just think it's over with for him. He still has, it's early in the season. There's a lot more time if he can show and improve, especially during this game on Sunday against the Panthers. I think he's got more time to be able to show that he actually is a quarterback that is worthy of being in this league. But Justin, if you're watching this and you are in any way, shape, or form concerned about proving your worth when it comes to being a NFL quarterback, buddy, you gotta lock in. Do not look at the situation passively and say, you know what, I made it, I got my money. It is what it is. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It wasn't meant to be. Are you putting in the work? Are you in that playbook? Are you asking questions when you're in practice? Like, do whatever it is that you feel you have to do to prove that you deserve to be a starting quarterback. Because, bro, this is your last chance. Nobody's taking you after this. All of the NFL is watching, and not a single one of them are thinking that we need Justin Fields as our starting quarterback. Step your game up, bro. Step it up. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for you this week. I know it was a little bit more brief compared to what it is that we did last time, but you know what? I wanted to kind of get into a flow to where we can kind of just get to the parts that I know that you guys want to be able to see and not kind of jar around with things I know you're not necessarily interested in. But if there's something that I missed, or if you think that there's somebody that deserved one of these awards more than the person that I awarded it, go ahead and leave a comment down below. And if you think that there's an award that maybe I missed, that you thought that maybe I should have been able to put inside of here, then you know what? I might consider putting that inside. So leave that down below. Leave a like. I'll talk to you guys next time, and we will see you in the next recap. See ya.
I'm dealing with the stress, I'm dealing with the pain. Trying to find a way.